All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. Today, I'm talking with my friend Xiao, who's all the way over in China, right?
Oh, I'm in Japan. I'm in Osaka, Japan.
Oh, you're in Japan. Oh, in Osaka. Oh, I'm jealous, man. I want to go to Japan. Okay, so basically what I do here is I talk to people about whatever belief systems they once were in, how they figured out that they were, nonsense or whatever, and how they left, and their journey out of it, and what kind of happened after that, and why they ended up where they are today as atheists or activists or whatever it is. So why don't you kind of take us back to that?
All right. So, today I'll definitely say I'm an atheist and I'm an activist.
Yes.
Most
yes,
of my
you are.
works are in Chinese and in Japanese because I think the audience in these two languages are really underserved with quality, with quality content.
Right. So do you do your videos in Chinese and Japanese as well?
Oh yeah. Some
Okay.
of my most viewed videos are in Chinese and Japanese.
Okay.
Make other things as well, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen some of the stuff you talk about politics and stuff as well on there. But do you do any videos in English for us guys that don't really speak?
Oh yeah, definitely. If there's something I think that would be helpful to the English-speaking atheist community, I'll do a video on that as well.
Oh, excellent.
In the main atheist community, it seems like it's in English. But
yeah,
there are communities in other languages. I've talked to the XJWs in Japan, and they're very interesting. They talk about stories.
Wow.
Domestic violence when they were young, and it's apparently allowed by the church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not like they go to stop it or anything. I've spoken to other JWs on the show before, and they've spoken about the violence that is inherent in the system, we'll say, I guess. But yeah, it's a
crime in the, I guess, West, right?
yeah.
Like when you beat your own children.
It's a crime, but they seem to get away with it because they're protected by their religious freedoms, we'll say, or whatever. But a lot of times, even after that, they're still going to get busted by the cops because most of them ain't going to put up with that sort of thing. I mean, it's abuse, bottom line, and nobody should have to go through that.
Yeah, you would think that, right? But here in Japan, like to a degree, it's allowed by the law.
Really? Yeah. How did they determine when it's too much?
Oh, you should ask a lawyer. I'm sorry. I'm not.
That's okay. I thought if you'd done a little bit of research in there, you may have found out something about, beating the kid up because he's late for a curfew or something is as far as they'll let it go. But if we're talking, any bodily damage or anything like that, visible damage, maybe they would step in. But I guess it's got to be some sort of family thing or something. Very strange.
Difficult to get into someone else's family affairs.
Is that how they view it, kind of thing?
I would say, yeah.
Wow. Well, if I saw somebody beating up a kid, I'd step in for sure, regardless.
Yeah, if I see it for myself.
Yeah. Well, because we're decent human beings, Xiao. That's why.
Yeah. I guess.
So, what belief system were you a part of?
Well, I was in the, how do I say this? The state-provided belief system of the Chinese nationalism, I guess. It's
Chinese nationalism?
A religion.
Did you follow any religion at all?
I've never been, no. But what turned me actively seeking atheist content was some of my quite close relatives. They turned evangelical Christian.
Wow. Really? Because I think
Hmm.
in China, outside of Hong Kong or whatever, I think they have Christianity is frowned upon, is it not?
Christianity, well, there are definitely a lot of people that would say it's that way. Yeah.
Mm.
But there's also state-sanctioned Christianity, and they are
Oh,
from another branch. They're called family churches.
okay.
Basically, it's
Interesting.
kind of underground, but the police know about them. Like they are kind of registered.
Right, right. So they're
For spraying.
it's a religion, I guess it's allowed by the state.
Mm.
Interesting. Do you know how many members they might have there?
I've been to their congregation many times. I think it's like 30 people, but I'm not sure if everyone's baptized.
Okay.
Some might be just family.
Right. That's going to
And there's
show their
a
support.
couple congregations all by the same priest, I guess.
Are there any other religions that are prominent?
In China?
Yeah.
In China, well, Protestantism, Catholicism,
Mm-hmm.
Catholicism. Sorry,
Catholicism. No, that's fine. I got what you meant for sure. And Protestantism, yes. But those are also branches of Christianity, really.
Yes.
But what about like
Islam?
really?
Islam. Have you heard about Xinjiang? Because I saw this is the same Western people are.
I have not heard of this. No.
Oh, okay. Go look it up. It's Xinjang. Xinjang.
Jean Xiao, or is that how you say it? Jean,
It's okay. You can do it afterwards. Anyways, it's basically China is a pretty big place, right? And there's different racial minorities, and people there are Muslims, mostly Muslims.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Islam has a foothold in China, to be honest, because this is something I didn't know.
Okay.
Xinjiang. Oh, okay. Somebody there has got it.
No, that's not how you spell it.
That's not. That's yeah, good try there, Theo.
Yeah, good try.
This is an interesting question here. We're talking about the beatings and stuff like that. My friend Pine Snake here was like,
Exodus 21,
Exodus.
20.
Yeah, he'll tell you. Wait, that's how much you can beat a slave, isn't it? Doesn't that tell you can beat him, but if he gets up, something like that? I think I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've read any scriptures of any
this
kind.
is a male or female slave by NIV.
Mm. Yeah,
that's not the verse JWs in Japan used to justify beating their children. I cannot pull it up right now, but I remember the verse roughly.
Wow. Oh, he's saying something about the Xinjiang or whatever is
Tang Dynasty, yes. That's correct.
Since the Tang Dynasty, okay.
P. Yeah.
Yeah, P. Right. Yeah. Oh, you can see the chat. Good. Okay, you figured it out. Sometimes people don't notice. Sometimes people don't notice that it's there. So I have to tell you. That's right. If a slave dies as a direct result, it's murder. If they get up after 2 to 3 days, it's okay as they are your property. So I guess that's what they're adhering to. The JWs.
Well, it's more about children, so it's kind of different.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's on a different verse.
It's all fucking horrible, no matter how you slice it. You shouldn't be beating your kids.
Yes, hence you're correct. Your spelling is completely correct.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Hans is a smart guy. So
Yeah.
actually, most of the people I know are fairly smart human beings. It's and so that's why I have no idea what they see in me because I'm an idiot basically. But
Don't say it.
I'm just a beer guzzling, bad dad joke telling moron, pretty much. But anyway, yeah, I'm a.
Your beard is magnificent.
Oh well, I haven't shaved in a week and a half, so it's kind of scraggly. But normally it just looks, with the little stripes or whatnot. That I don't know. I started doing that like 20 years ago, and it just stuck. So, and people are like, "Hey, that's really cool. I've never seen that before." And I'm like, "Thanks, I guess." So, if you weren't involved in any particular religion yourself, other than the nationalism thing that you were talking about before, did any of your relatives ever try to coerce you into getting into the Christianity? As you were saying, that some of them
apart from those who are evangelical Christians, none of them.
Really? So, did anyone say you should get baptized or anything like that, or?
Well, it's China. My whole family is atheist, and
okay,
it's a normal thing.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's kind of one of the things I really like about China.
Sometimes too normal that. How do I say this? The people can be very ignorant when it comes to religion. So I think it actually have a negative effect in the atheist movement here when we try to talk about religion, because a lot of people don't really know religion that much. They don't even have the basic information. They may not be able to tell between a Catholic and a Protestant.
Well, yeah, I mean, they seem quite similar to me too, but Catholics seem to have way more ritualistic crap than the Protestants. But
yeah, you see the squirt guns on baby.
Yes, that's how they're doing baptisms now, from 6 meter difference or whatever it is, squirting people, or 2 meters or whatever the hell you're supposed to be. Yeah, that's hilarious to me. I'm thinking, come on, guys, you should be. If isn't your big guy in the clouds there? Isn't he saving you from this virus? Apparently not. So
no, I guess for them, ritual is important.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't understand how. Well, okay, I just don't understand how anyone can believe all that crap, anyways, myself. So it just blows my mind because I've read through all the scriptures, not so much the Quran. I've only recently just started perusing Quran type stuff, but all the other ones, and to me, they read. I mean, sure, it's fluffy language, but to me, they still read as mythologies. Like when I read the Greek mythologies or the Roman mythologies or the Norse mythologies, because they have these fantastical stories that sound just like they're being written down by someone who's writing down the Epic of Gilgamesh or something like that. Like it just comes across as mythology to me. And I thought that for quite some time, to my parents' disappointment early on, but they got used to it after a while. But now my mom's actually starting to second guess herself when it comes to her release now too, thanks to me. But anyway, so did you ever have any like friends and stuff like that were in any of the religious categories that were trying to convince you to come over to the dark side or whatever?
I'm going to disappoint you. The answer is going to be a resounding, not really.
Resounding, not really. So, is there? Wow.
Okay. The closest thing I've had, apart from my evangelical relatives trying to let me join their church, would be Amway.
Amway. Oh, interesting.
Yes. Big in China.
Yeah, it was big here for a long time, but and it's very cultish. I've been to one of their meetings because my mom's friends.
Oh yeah.
My mom's friends were involved in it, and I think they still are to this day. but they're like one of the last few around here that still do it.
You
And
know,
I'll admit, I buy from them these little peanut butter bar things from time to time because they're really, really good. But
if they are really good, and
yeah, they're like $12 or $15 a box. You get like a half dozen of them, and they're like meal replacement bars, but they're mostly peanut butter and stuff.
but as long as you don't like them.
That's what, yeah, I'm like, well, I'll throw 15, $20 down for a bunch of those every once in a while. I don't care. Helps them out because it's not their main income, obviously, because they do work as well. Well, they're retired now, mind you, but yeah, they just do it on the side as a whatever. Like they don't really put a lot into it as much as they used to when they were younger. So, but yeah, Amway, I definitely. Well, it's pyramid, right? So it's definitely like a cult. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's also in the sense that they have certain famous people, and they really follow what those people are talking.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to start a movement like that, you want some, for lack of a better term, star power. We'll say. I like Beach's idea here. If you're a naturalist of any kind. Do outdoor christenings, throw a bucket of water on the baby and you can water the flowers at the same time. I like that.
That's eco-friendly.
Exactly. And that's my bag, right? That's what I do for a living. I work in the environmental sector. So I'm a really shitty chemist for an environmental company, right? I mostly test like oils and fuels and soil and antifreezes and stuff like that. For heavy metals or PCB contamination, that kind of thing, gas chromatography, ICAP, which inductively compulsed plasma, stuff like that. Really, really interesting and cool.
Chemistry.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? I don't really have a formal education. I took all the necessary courses, paid for by my company, of course. So I have certification, which would be, I guess, close to a bachelor's degree, but I don't actually have an actual degree. But
well, that's nice for your company to do that, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. They're very good. They treat us really well, which pleases me because there's a lot of people. I'm lucky to have gotten it used to be owned by a friend of mine, but he was going to retire. Then he sold the company to a company called GFL, which is Green for Life. And we were all afraid, because they're a big corporation, we were all afraid that we would be treated less than we had been with the mom and pop operation type thing. So everyone was concerned and everybody was talking about starting a union. And I'm like, wait, just see what they have to say. And they offered a very reasonable compensation package. They didn't lower our wages, which they don't. Their starting wages aren't as high as ours original one was. They left everything as it was. The only thing that they took away was what they used to call the wellness check. Every year we'd get $500 to put on anything that would, hobbies or gym or even a little bit of travel or whatever for your mental wellness and stuff like that. They took that away, but they offered us each, I think, a $2 raise instead.
A $2 per hour?
Per hour, yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And in the end, well, in the end, even after the taxes and stuff like that, it works out to be about the same.
Oh.
Yeah. No pine snake, no free weed. I wish. Although weed is legal here now, it's still not free. Well, I guess it is if you grow your own. But yeah. But you still have to pay for fertilizer and all that other stuff, right? So
I was told that Amway was connected to the Mormon Church. Don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know.
Because Utah was very loose on MLMs, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stay-at-home moms because the Mormons' belief was that if your mom It's like they want to have a lot of children, so the moms tend to stay at home rather than working.
Yes.
So I think it's definitely a fertile ground for this kind of operation. I'm not quite sure if they are directly related, though.
I don't know. That's I wish IQ was here, but IQ is my moderator, my main moderator guy. He's helps me with a lot of stuff to do with the channel. But he would be the guy looking that up right now.
Okay.
But of course, anyone else in there, like Pine Snake, could do it too. Could look up and see if Mormon Church.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just reading something here. Beach Price said it could be because her neighbors were Mormon and sold it.
Yeah.
And they sold Amway, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Amway's Mormon. But
yeah, there's a comment that's really interesting. P said, "I wonder if Zeng has ever been approached by cults like Falun Gong, Yi Guan Dao." I don't know about Yi Guan Dao, but Falun Gong is definitely a thing, and not a lot of people talk about it in the West. I was thinking about making a video on it actually.
Yeah, you might as well.
From China.
It'd be interesting to yeah. Are there many cults in China at all? Or
well, the government is pretty hard on them.
I wouldn't doubt that. I know they're very. I don't want to say anti-religion, but they're very. They don't have as loose.
Religious freedom, no.
Yeah, that's right. And here's somebody from Utah, my very good friend X.
Someone from Utah.
He doesn't think so. However, they do have a lot of MLMs, which is multi-level marketing, right? So, and X lives over in Utah there, so it's not specifically Amway, just all MLMs.
Yes, MLMs.
Oh, there you go. He's very knowledgeable, apparently.
Epoch Times. Yes, thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Wow. I'm glad to have such an audience.
Oh yeah, well, X knows quite a bit. Actually, I pop on his show from time to time. I think I've done 3 rounds now. Is that it's 3 now, right? X, it should be more, but because it's a lot of fun going on the Utah Outcast show. Except the last time, towards the end of it, I think I was starting to feel a little overly tired because I get up at 4:00 in the morning every day to go to work. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun doing their show. They always talk about different subjects, and then he'll chop it up and release little segments during the week. So if you've watched any of them last week, I'm in like every single one of those. Like a driveling idiot for the most part. But you know, when I got home, I ordered.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Mine was completely irrelevant.
I wonder who's been supporting Falun Gong financially, because they seems to have a lot of money.
They must get it. They donations.
Just from the amount of advertisements they've been putting out. Just
so they
it's
do
hard
get
to believe just donations is enough to support that kind of spending. Because I've seen it even on Chinese websites. Like they are supposed to be strictly forbidden from doing that.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, should I?
It's actually a meme at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. So, how many? I'm just wondering. You remember in Japan they had that guy with the long hair. He did I think was it a subway bombing that he did? I can't remember his name.
That definitely turned public opinion towards anti-religion.
No, but he was the one. He had this cult of following of people.
Yes, they still exist in a form today.
Really?
Yeah,
even though he's gone now.
He's gone, and the public reputation is destroyed. But to some extent, like some vestiges still survive to this day.
Wow.
But they are not the main bad guys here.
Oh, who would be the main bad guys there?
Imagine a party that's supported by one religious movement and is currently co-ruling with the main party in Japan. That's what we have here in Japan.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the guy. Shoko Asahara. Sorry.
Okay.
That's the guy's name, I believe.
Hmm.
The Shinrikyo cult?
Where is it? I cannot see it. Sorry.
P here,
Oh.
this one here?
Shinrikyo.
Hmm.
Yes, that's the name.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah, yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. I just couldn't remember his name. I'm not good with names. I have a bad memory. Howdy, Chris. My very good friend, Chris, the Daily Atheist, has popped into the chat. Oh, and thanks, Glass Monster. And he's got a question for you, actually. He just gave me a super chat.
How strict is religion in Japan, China? Are we talking about strict in the sense they are strict against their own people or government against religion?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because we know that in China...
I'm not sure if it's government against religion, by the way. That seems to make more sense. In China, it depends on whether you are allowed by the state. Basically, the state tries to control religion. They don't forbid it. So it's the things they cannot control and have the potential of acting against them, they would try to destroy.
Wow, there you go. That's what they're going on about the Shen Yun thing, and turns out it's a symphony.
Oh, chat is going so fast. Those
480 performers. I think they just came to Vancouver just recently.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen it in Canada. I was in Canada, by the way, for 4 years.
Yeah, no, yeah. X, I know that China and Japan are vastly different. I know that.
Vastly different. Correct. In Japan, we have religious freedom.
Yeah.
To an extent.
So
religion is a state in China, yes.
Yeah. In 17th century, apparently, Japan banned Christianity.
That's a long time ago. They definitely removed that ban.
I would think so, because there's a lot of Christians in Japan.
So interesting thing, in World War II, all the Christian churches, at least all those that are like public to some degree, not underground, were merged into one. Protestants, Catholics, one church, one organization. And they had to sing the national anthem before the Sunday prayer.
Really?
Before service, yeah.
Okay. That's a good question from Pine Snake here. Is spirituality more common than religion, or is religion still a big thing in Japan?
Spirituality. Well, how do you define spirituality?
Exactly, it's pretty vague.
A big thing. I think for spirituality, like New Agey stuff, in Japan, it's mostly Buddhism and mixed with a bit of Chinese and their own traditional beliefs. One thing that's really big is fortune telling. They would look at your palm, like those lines, and they try to tell you.
Palm readers. Yeah.
Palm readers.
Yeah. They're hacks, people. Don't trust them. Charlatans. All they want is your money, and they'll tell you very pleasing things, so you'll come back and give them more money.
Yeah.
It's almost like 3-card Monty with the cards, where these guys are flipping the cards around. Find the queen. Find the queen. And of course, you think you've got it, and then poof. Nope, wrong one. Buddhism and Shinto are everywhere. There you go. Yeah.
Well, they're actually more like kind of merge. Basically, one saying I've heard people say is, when you get married, it's Shinto. When you die, it's Buddhism.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Glass Monster wants to know what kind of beer I'm drinking. Nothing
I won't
special.
know.
No, he wants to know what kind of beer I'm drinking. It's nothing special, man. Caribou Blonde Ale.
Okay.
It's just a cheap Canadian spring water beer. It's too early for you to be drinking beer.
Okinawa beer. I've drank last night.
Okay, what kind is that?
Okinawa beer, Orion.
Oh, I've never tried it, but I've seen it. You can get it here. It's just you got to go to areas that have the imports and stuff like that. So yeah. Awesome. All right, so it's you're kind of lucky having grown up in areas where religion isn't really pushed, and it's actually people sort of like, yeah, we don't really care, I guess, more or less. And it's very much the opposite here in the West, because one of the first things I hear from, especially in America, like a lot of my American friends, because I'm Canadian, and it's not as so bad as much here, except there are areas where it can be like that. Yeah. But for the most part, like if I go outside and talk to people, most of them are fairly secular, right? They may go, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, but I don't really, whatever. I do Christmas. I have a turkey on Christmas Eve, nothing special, right? But, you go down south, and what I hear from a lot of the folks that lived like down in the southern states or something like that, where they go, when you move somewhere, one of the first things your neighbors ask you is, oh, what church do you belong to? Right? So
option of no church.
They take it very, very seriously down there. Oh, okay. There you go. I have no idea what that says.
Yeah, he says he wants to come to Japan. Yeah,
me too.
Japan wants to after the outbreak.
Well, yeah, of course we're going to wait till all this blows over and they come up with a vaccine finally. Yeah, it's on my bucket list. The places that I want to go. The closest I've been to anywhere in what we would call traditional Asia is Israel. So Israel, Egypt, but Egypt's Africa, not Asia, right? That's the Middle East, but technically it's Asia, not Europe.
I'm surprised when I heard Israel is considered like a same continent.
Well, it's on the Asian continent.
Yeah.
But they call it the Middle East, right? Like Lebanon, Israel, it's all they're technically on the Asian continent. So I can say that I've been on every continent on Earth except for two. And that would be Australia. I have yet to go there. And of course, I see you got me there. So, but then of course Antarctic. But nobody wants to go to the Antarctic unless you want to build a giant snowman or something. So, which I have no desire to. But Glass is drinking Budweiser. My neighbor Kenny, they used to live down the street. We grew up together, played hockey and baseball and shit together as kids. He used to work for an organization that did a lot of, scientific stuff in Antarctic. So he's been there for months at a time. And every time I talk to him, he says, "No, dude, you don't want to go there." He goes, "If you go anywhere, go to the western side of it, where you're really close to the southern tip of South America, near Chile or something, because it's a little bit better there, except in the winter. It's brutal." He goes, "Go there in the summer, if anything, because some of the land actually ends up being exposed." So, but yeah, he goes, "You don't want to sit in the middle of the Antarctic, dude. It sucks," he says. "It's just so cold and boring. But at night, the sky is brilliant because they have their own version of the, I guess they're the southern lights instead of the northern lights, but the aurora borealis or whatever." Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. My friend Pine says you can't go to Antarctic because of some treaty, which I don't know about, because they're hiding the proof that the Earth is flat.
Okay.
And that's where all the Nazis live now, isn't that right? Is that what it is? They have the South Pole Nazis, and they have those spaceships that they built called the Vril or whatever that they fly in and out, and they go back and forth to the moon or something. I don't know. All these wacky ass theories that people come up with just cracks me up.
Anyway, there's a question earlier. Daily Atheist. I missed the first part. Sorry. Did he have a deconversion, or was he always a non-believer? I was always a non-believer.
Yes, yes, you were saying that, but he did have some evangelical family members and
Yes.
stuff like that. So,
and basically having them really pushed me against religion, because for me, like things like evolution is like it's something I take for granted. But when someone publicly strongly opposed that, it created a strong sense of uneasiness.
yeah, because it's dude, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't
But
get how people can willingly and blatantly ignore evidence. I just don't get it.
Oh, evidence. Oh, the word. Oh man.
Oh, I triggered him.
So, how do I say this? Like, you know what? My understanding of evolution hasn't been very thorough until I've met these Christians. Until I wanted to defeat them in conversation.
They drove you to study it. Is that it?
Yes.
I need to know this. Yeah.
I have to know this.
Did you watch
really work.
Did you watch some Trevor Valley videos and Aaron Ra videos or anything like that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Centerfoot.
Oh yeah, they're both very knowledgeable. Well, Valley's actually an what do you call it? Anthropologist, or not an anthropologist? What do you call those? Archaeologist. Thank you. That's what I was
Archaeologist.
thinking. Yeah, and he wears hockey jerseys. That's why he's one of my favorites, because I'm a big fan of hockey myself. Being a Canadian, I think when you're born, you are instantly brainwashed into liking hockey here in Canada. And I do from time to, not really, but I do hear from time to time that there are Canadians that don't care for hockey. And I'm like, you should move to the States. You know, even though they have way more hockey teams than we do. But that's okay. Every once in a while, we got to let them win the gold in the Olympics too, so that they don't feel like we're trying to hog it all to ourselves all the time. If you guys want to see a really funny video, it's a great song by a Canadian band, obviously, called "Up in Canada." Go look it up on YouTube. "Up in Canada." It's hysterical. I think I posted a link for that a little while ago on Twitter and shared that, but it's just so funny. You'll everything you need to know about Canadians in a humorous fashion is in that video. It's very funny. Wow. So, talk to me about. Where? Okay. What's your hometown? Like, where are you from? Where were you born? Kind of thing.
Oh, it's boring. Beijing.
In Beijing, okay. And when you went through school, were you familiar with any other kids there that followed any belief systems? And did you ever approach them and question them? I'm sorry?
We had a Christian in the class.
Was he very preachy, or did he just kind of keep to himself?
Definitely not. You can't be. You can't be in China.
Oh,
if you're preachy, you're going to be bullied. It's an actual problem when a lot of people aren't atheists. When there's so many atheists, standing out can get you bullied.
Really? Oh, it's too bad. Although it happens here too. I think bullying goes on, right? That's too bad. Yeah, well. Theoretically, my Canada knowledge is limited to South Park. So basically, the blame Canada, blame Canada, blame Canada. With their hockey hullabaloo. So see, I can't fathom growing up somewhere where religion was really more or less frowned upon, because it just flows so freely here. Of course, because it's in our laws and stuff, religious freedoms and all that.
It's technically in our laws.
But it's not adhered to. Is that what I'm hearing here?
And this is a lot of things in China. It's we have a rule, but we don't adhere to it.
Okay.
You have to like actually go there to know exactly what rules people adhere to.
Oh, okay. Now, did you ever like live anywhere where you were able to develop such an, I'll be honest with you, Xiao, your English is better than my English, for fuck's sakes. I hear no hints of like an accent or anything. And I have, where I live, there's a very large a Chinese population. And I got tons of friends, and even the ones that, there's some that came here and some are born here. And the ones that are born here really don't have an accent, but the ones that came here, moved here or immigrated here, you can still, even after being here for 15, 20 years, you can still hear a bit of an accent. So I commend you, man. It's almost like I would never guess if I'd met you in the street and started talking to you. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Let's go have a beer or whatever. I'll buy. And we just were shooting the shit. I would have thought you would have been born here, to be honest with you. So have you ever lived? Well, it's not necessarily a case of thanks or anything like that.
I had my college degree in Canada.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's right. You were talking about that with Randolph. I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah, that's how I found out about Xiao, guys. He was chatting with my good friend Randolph on his channel, and I said, I like this guy. I should have him on the show. And I learned that he didn't really have any religion, but we could talk about how religion is viewed in China or Asia in general, and stuff like that, right? And I thought there's something to talk about here. So how do you like it in Japan? How long have you been there?
5 years.
5 years.
Canada at this point. Almost 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Japan,
I've never been, but I've heard so many stories. Like they have like everything. They have something like 150 flavors of Kit Kats, for fuck's sakes.
What?
Something like that. I've heard that. Like they even have wasabi flavor.
I think it's definitely a thing. Convenience stores here would periodically have new flavors of the things they're familiar with.
Mm-hmm. But I heard that ginger ones and orange flavored and I'd love to try some of those. I don't know about the
weird flavors.
Yeah, well, I'm used to the regular Kit Kats because we might come up with cookies and cream or peanut butter, but you won't find like a ginger flavored Kit Kat here, although it would be interesting to try. That's one of the reasons I'm a foodie. I like eating stuff. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, in Mediterranean style foods and pretty much almost every kind of Asian food you can think of are my favorites. I used to tell my buddy Russell, I said, "Shit, dude, I should have been born over that place because that's all my favorite food."
Well, if you're born over here, you would have other favorite food.
I'd probably be like, "I love McDonald's," or something like that, right?
Japanese people. McDonald's. It doesn't have the same bad rap as it has in the States.
I know, but they have better quality stuff at the McDonald's there, though, from what I'm to understand. Well, McDonald's is owned by, of course, the parent company, but they source their food from the areas where they set up. Like in Canada, you go to McDonald's, you're getting Canadian Alberta Angus beef, right? You're getting Canadian beef here. In the U.S., you're getting the U.S. beef. We're getting potatoes from Canadian farmers. Oh, by the way, guys, eat more potato-based products because apparently not being able to supply the restaurants, we now have millions of tons of potatoes that are going to waste in North America. So because of COVID. Yeah. So I'm doing my part. I had a couple of rounds of poutine last week, and I had some potato skins ordered from my buddy's bar down the road. But they're opening everything up. I mean, I can now go to my friend's bar down the street here called Frankie G's and sit inside. They only allow, I think they allow 25 people in maximum, and everyone has to be, they've got some of the tables closed off, so they're still doing the separating. And the staff are all wearing masks, and so they're doing their part to make it as safe as they can. But people around here are just starting to get tired of not being able to go out. I mean, and you're fine if you keep yourself safe and distance, and if you go to places where people are susceptible, wear a mask, because you don't know, you may be asymptomatic and not know, right? So if I go to a place like Walmart or to a restaurant or something, or into a corner store, I have my mask that I hang on my rear view in my car, and I'll throw it on, go in, take it off when I get back in my car. But yeah, it's you got to be careful. I mean, people can die from this. It's not a fun fucking virus. I'm hearing all kinds of weird shit that's popping up now, like people losing toes and stuff because of this. Yeah, some apparently they've linked to this. Some people lost some toes because of circulation issues because of this virus. Yeah. Fucked up. No, Hans, there are no bacon and maple flavored Kit Kats in Canada. No. We got one that's hockey puck flavor. You want to try that one? I'm kidding. Kit Kat is from the bad Nestle. Is there a good Nestle? Anyway. Yeah, it was originally Swiss. Yes, that's true. Well, what do you say we kind of wrap this up and we can jump to an after party and have a few more folks in here with us? Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
Because I think we pretty much covered anything that I really wanted to touch on, basically. You're one of the few lucky ones, Xiao, that you weren't sucked into some crazy ass cult or belief system. So that's awesome. And thanks for joining me today and sharing some of this stuff with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I know you were kind of like, Jesus, fuck, I got to get up at 8 a.m. for crying out loud. Because where you are right now in Japan, it's early morning, which is why, which is why you're not drinking beer like me. Don't they have any AM ale over there? I'm just kidding. That was an old Saturday Night Live TV commercial where they had AM ale. He's got a big bottle of beer on the way to the bus stop in the morning with his briefcase. It's kind of funny. Anyway, all right. So we're going to do that. We're going to get into an after party. If anyone is interested in jumping in there with us, let me know. You can talk to me through Twitter or, Glass, I saw you. Glass is the guy I got an email a link to. So it's fellow Canadian. On the other side, though, he's over on the East Coast. Actually, I should point that way. East Coast is that way. So, yeah. All right. Yes, agnostic pagan mother, you missed it again. It's okay. I don't know why people aren't getting the announcements that I'm going live. If you don't hit the bell, if you don't hit the bell, you're probably going to miss it. But anyways, guys, definitely go down. There's a few links below for Xiao. You go check his stuff out. He's got a blog. I've linked that one. He's also got a YouTube channel where he talks about some pretty interesting things. I've seen everything that he's got up there so far. Actually, that's what I forgot to mention. Anyways, and also I've got his Twitter link there if you want to stalk him on Twitter too. Once again, thank you, Xiao, for joining me, and thank everyone in the chat for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed our crazy ass conversation today. But there will be more, and the link to the after party is also in the description box if you want to come and hang out with us for that. And guys, with this pandemic going on right now, please, guys, be safe and be well, and above all, be kind. And like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.